YouTube. Yo. What up, everybody? Welcome to Osiris League Grand Finals, baby. Let's go. 4 realms had 4 champions come out of them. JST out of the realm of Horus. Shout out to 365. To the Men Mango, to freaking Chuny and company from the realm of Horus, representing our realm in the grand finals. At this point, I'm rooting for JST. They're our home, quote unquote, alliance, and so heck, we gotta start this. You know what I mean? Now that we know who is realm of what and all that good stuff, I mean, we gotta cheer for our team. I guess that's what it is. So at 3 p.m. UTC, which is in a few hours still to come, we will be casting that 6 hours to come, but now we get to see the other side. We get to see 2 champions that we haven't seen before at all, and that is 94 VN against PX34. Now, here's the thing. Covering 4 realms is extremely difficult, and so I'm really happy that we at least get to highlight some of these names, because like in last season, V636 was a name we learned out of the Osiris League championships at the end of it, and that's how they gained a little bit more of their popularity in the game. And now again, we have 3 new kingdoms. Technically 960 is a fairly known kingdoms, 960 GT and company winning the realm of Bassets, going up against JST later tonight. But 94 VN Vietnam Warriors Alliance versus Phoenix Ash of 534 are about to go head to head in the Osiris League Grand Final. If you've never seen Osiris League Grand Finals before, well, there's a couple things you should know about, and that is in the rulebook. Pretty much, the way this works is the 4 champions of each of the realms are going to go in a 1v1 scenario to make it to round 2. Round 2 is the finals round 1, essentially, which whoever wins here goes into the finals, and the finals is going to be a best of 3. So this is a best of 1 elimination essentially for the finals, and from there 3 games, or technically best of 3. I don't know if you win 2 if the 3rd game will get played, but last time it was a 1-1 and ended up going to game 3, which was very, very exciting. So the way this is going to work is fairly simple. I believe every single one of the folks in the tournament is going to have 2 million tier 5s of each troop available, 500,000 T1 calves, and of course, those can only be used in this event. You can configure your troops and whatnot through troop management, kind of like Osiris League Grand Finals that we had in Season 2. It's pretty much the same thing. Everybody has the same commanders, the same buffs, the same everything. Within the Grand Finals, technology and alliance buffs will not take place in effect. Instead, all governors receive the same set of buffs. All other buffs, including those of kingdom titles, occupation of holy sites, and so will not take an effect either. Commanders provided only there's all the commanders available. Governors will be unable to use their own commanders in the Grand Final. The system will provide designated commanders for governors to use until the end. Commanders will have included advanced, elite, epic, and legendary commanders, and the commanders' abilities levels can all be at the maximum level. You pick your stuff, you're good to go. So everybody has the same exact thing. Everybody is rocking the same setups, kind of, with a slight exception that, then you have your creativity of what pairs you're using, what your strategy is, and all the good stuff. But everybody has the same tools. And so with the tools in place, they now have to figure out of these 4 alliances, which one has not only the better strategy, but also the best timings, have the best counter strategies, can react to their opposition's attacks and defenses, and much, much more. For Osiris League, it is, even in the playoffs when things get really tough, it is still very easy to come back into a certain situation, but it's very rare that it happens. The primary reason for that is that it is very hard to train for. It's easy to react to something once you've learned to react to certain situations on the map. And so most teams in Osiris League, the better teams, the ones that are consistently making it into the playoffs, are the ones that have had enough experiences as a unit to be able to counter a bunch of different strategies and a bunch of different situations on the field. These are the top 4 teams of Osiris League Season 4. Are the new commanders allowed? I think I wouldn't know, to tell you the truth, because they haven't come out in the game yet. But it would be curious if they are. We might see them. We'll find out. If they are useful, we will see them on the field, right? We will more than likely see them on the field. So I have no idea. I would assume no, because they're not out technically yet. But they could just as easily put them in there, right? And that would be cool to see. It would be sick if Pakal and what's-his-face come into the season and change all the rallies, right? Because everybody says Pakal is going to be the Zenobia killer. There could be some footage out there. I have no clue. I haven't checked. There could be some footage out there of people who are in the event, who did the test runs, because believe it or, well, you probably know this, there are test runs available for the teams playing. Essentially, you can get to the point where your team essentially practices against either itself or other teams. I don't know how it is on this season, actually. When we played in Osiris League Season 2, we had JWM and JWM2 in the thing, so we could practice against each other. But I don't know if they can practice against each other, or they have to practice within their own team, a 15-15 situational or stuff like that. So that's interesting to see. Yeah, it is now. It's about to go down. 3 minutes to go. 94 VN versus PX34. I kind of wish, and honestly, I have no idea if I can even spectate. I'm not going to lie to you. I really hope I can spectate. I asked about the whitelisting scenario, and well, hopefully we are available for casting today. So we'll see. We'll see. Majority of the content creators who are casting tend to have the ability to get into games, so we can cast and all that good stuff without having issues. So hopefully that works. I'm here. We'll click it and hope and pray that it works. Let's put it this way. But we are registered for both matches, which is kind of funny, which means we're going to get a notification in about 2 minutes and 30 seconds. In the chat right now, any of you know these teams, who do you think is going to go to the final? Is 94 NV from Kingdom 994 going to beat PX34 534? There's a huge difference in the Kingdom age. I'm not so sure whether the Vietnam Warriors have had that much time to get enough experience with the latest commanders, right? They haven't necessarily been in Season of Conquest for that long, if at all. And so 994, having not necessarily used the latest and greatest commanders as much, not had access to the Season of Conquest commanders as much, while 534 probably had at least one, if not more than one KVK that are Season of Conquest, gives them a little bit of more knowledge on how to use said commanders and how to pair some commanders. Obviously, this is not something that it's not something that is that big of a deal. Obviously, you learn your way through. It's not that hard to, pick commanders, to know how to use them and all that good stuff. But I'm just curious whether 534 also have equipment advantage, in the sense that they've existed longer. I'm assuming there's more equipment on one side than the other. Not that I don't think it would matter, but still, I don't know. I think that 994 have a huge task ahead of themselves to try to beat a kingdom that is almost half their age. Even if PX34 are not from here, even if they're younger guys that migrated to an older kingdom, which is very rare. Yeah, I don't know. I think that PX34 might have a pretty big advantage here. 994 is all about strategy, right? But remember, they all have the same commanders. They all have the same troops. They all have the same setup. So it's all about the strategy and, well, the ability of course, using the commanders and all that good stuff. 30 seconds to go. I am actually stoked to see these teams. Never seen them before. Very exciting thing. We're going to go through that intro and look through the names of the players, then look at the teleport, see who is each. Kind of just get through with it. And then when the gates of hell open, we'll talk about Osiris League. Ark of Osiris, introduce you all a little bit more to Ark if you're new to Ark of Osiris. And get the show on the road. Osiris League Grand Final casting. Here we go. Hopefully. Now, usually it takes a few moments, but we're going to do this anyway. That's the live stream up there. Go. Can we watch? Watch. Enter. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Osiris League Grand Finals 94 VN against PX34. Look at the teleporting blue side. Cigar James. Oh man, so many cool names. I know some of these cigars. I've seen cigars before. B&W. What do we got in here? On the other side, we got PX534. The crew in 534. PX34. Let's see if I can recognize any name. Ooh, Paranoia. I know you. Here we go. This is what they're fighting for. I guess they want their name on the building. I'm not so sure how this is going to work. The grand final champion is going to be on the building from now on out. That's kind of sick. These guys, 94 VN, beat CD70 in the Osiris League Grand Finals to get here. PX34 beat V636. We were just talking about them to get here. And now, on the Osiris League field, they find themselves yet again playing for the big title. Now, all of these guys are already guaranteed a very, very cool skin and a bunch of awesome rewards for just getting here, which I'll show y'all at the end of the stream. So if you want to see that, make sure you're here until the end, although you can see it in game as well, and it's kind of cool. It's probably one of the nicer skins. Finally, an Osiris League skin, and PX34 all in here, ready to rock and roll. What a nice... I definitely know you. Oh, I know these guys. PX34. We've seen them before. We have seen these guys before. Oh, boy. Oh, some of them at least. And the cigar crew and a few others. Of course, not everybody's a cigar here, but here we go. Everybody teleported onto the field. This is not a drill, ladies and gentlemen. This is not a joke. This is not a casual thing. This is the grand finals. This is the champions of the champions, the top tier of Osiris League on the field, about to duke it out, and they want a ticket to the finals. They want to go into the best of 3. That is happening over the next 3 weeks, so it's going to be extremely, extremely fun to see. If you've never watched Ark of Osiris before, this is the Osiris map. It's a mirrored map where the two camps have the same exact buildings and the same exact configuration, and in this game mode, what you gotta do is gain as many points as you can in 1 hour. Now, the way you gain points is very simple. You either occupy buildings. For every minute you occupy a building, you gain certain amounts of points. Every building has a different point value. Second way to gain points is by gathering caravans on the provisions on caravans. Ark of Osiris, gathering buildings. It's simply gathering. You gather points off the map. The final way is through the Osiris League, Ark of Osiris, which spawns on the Osiris Temple. Every 12 minutes, give or take, well, it'll be in about 8 minutes or so after the first arc. The Ark of Osiris will pop. You can pick up an arc. If you get it back to your building or to your city or to whatever else on your side, bam, points are awarded to you. First arc is worth 3,000 total points, and it goes up for every arc. You'll see that as the match goes on. For now, the teams are starting to pour out of the starting zone. They are starting to head towards the first buildings available for occupation. The map is divided into 2 layers. First occupations, outpost of sets or ISET and the obelisks are the first buildings that get picked up. And then at the 52nd minute, so in 4 minutes, the desert altars and shrines of wars and shrines of lives will be able for occupation. Red team picking up a building, but mistake already by PX34. No, there was a no, what's it called? Hard push by them, and it looks like no hard push done by the team in blue also. So the hard push came in, but it comes in a building too late. You can see the difference in the timers in the blue team, for example. 2 minutes on the top one, less than 2 minutes on the bottom one. That is due to hard push. So both teams making a very, very slight mistake in the beginning. Hard push is a skill that drops 1 minute off your occupation time for the next 5 minutes. But because they popped it a little bit too late, it dropped the 1 minute only of the buildings they picked up after the skill was triggered. And so a slight mistake that both teams made, luckily. Very little points, not that huge of a deal. But as you can see, red team occupied the obelisk first. Obelisks are the buildings that allow you to teleport out of the starting zone all the way to this area right here. When you occupy an outpost, an obelisk, you get 5 teleports for every few minutes that you have the outpost in control. You gain more teleports. At the end of it all, you want to get all your team teleporting in. However, it'll take some time to gain the teleports required. This is part of the strategy in Ark of Osiris. As you can see, the red team has occupied all their primary buildings. The blue team still missing 1 outpost, which is about to get grabbed right now. We are looking through the field as things are about to heat up. In the first few moments of this match, both teams tend to go after each other's desert altars, which we're seeing the blue team headed in that direction with a fast rally, with a fast cav, a lot of cavalry, infantry all over the place. We are trying to find if we get the new commanders on the field, but by the looks of it, it does not look like we will see the new infantry commanders out here as, well, we haven't seen any of them yet on primary at least, but maybe they're hiding as secondary commanders somewhere. So we will still keep our eye on that, but the blue team is pushing very hard towards the red side desert altar. The reason I say red side desert altar is that it is on the mirrored side of the red team, and so this is the red team's desert altar. On the top side, the blue team desert altar sits right here. The red team is already there. It is going to be an extremely tough fight for both teams on their own desert altars, as both teams have now decent presence in there and have more and more presence coming down the field real quick. 89 seconds until the buildings open up. Red team launching a rally on an outpost. Nicely enough, we've seen these happen quite a bit. Outpost rallies are becoming a thing. Rallying an outpost away from the enemy team will get them to not gain 30 points every single minute. Outposts are worth 30 points each. The obelisks are worth 20 points each minute. The shrines are worth 80 points for every minute, and the altars are worth 150 points every minute. Within a few moments, the buildings are going to open up, and at that point, you're going to see the points starting to go up. They already are going up as the teams have successfully occupied their own buildings. The points per minute game has begun. As you can see, the red team with the rallies to the back outpost pick up both of them away from the blue team and gain a 60 point per minute advantage on the field. And this is the beginning of the struggle, quote unquote, for points of Ark of Osiris. Right now, the outpost is being swarmed back for the blue team, who are trying to get their buildings back in place. In the meantime, red team teleported their folks all in at once. So did the red team up on the top, doing their thing, teleports all over the place. Blue team should be doing the same momentarily. Everybody's on the field, and here we go. The fights for the shrines, for the desert altars are here. Red team very close on their own desert altar with a lot of Yadwigas, a lot of infantry, good garrison nearby. Oh, we can remove simplified. Lilith, thank you. Oh my goodness. Have you guys, building taken by the red team. Red team also taking blue team's desert altar away from them. I cannot believe this just happened. Red team has 3 desert altars and they are pouring troops in. They don't have a garrison there though. So the blue team is swarming the life out of this building, and this building is going to go down. The red team needs to get defense in here, and they need to get it right now. Thank the Lord. I cannot believe Lilith finally gave us the simplify graphics button on the spectate. How many, for 3 years we've been asking for this. Yes, chat. We can finally unsimplify the graphics while spectating some awesome Ark of Osiris. And so here we go. Blue team take their desert altar back. Red team control their own. And so first occupations of their own buildings look to be good, although the red team has a minute worth of occupation left on their desert altar, while the blue team still should have about, I believe, a minute and a half, if not a little bit more. And so 25 seconds where the red team is going to gain more points, and they are already ahead in the points per game by 240 points. And so this is not looking very good. There's a 200-point lead in the game and also a 240 points per minute lead for the red team, but this is nothing. This is literally the first 5 minutes of the match. It is going down. Rallies are being sent. Buildings are being attacked. Strategies are being employed. Commanders are making their way to the field. Everything is still open, but the red team is having a better opening at this time. Blue team just need to stabilize their own backline and start launching forward, and that's what they're doing right here. A cavalry Zhang Yu rally on deck. Red team stopping the swarm coming in from the top side. They're catching them on their way down, and the rally gets to the building alone and vulnerable. There is a secondary swarm by PX34 ready to rock and roll while the Zenobia on deck. The garrison swarming the life out of this Zhang Yu is going to destroy this attack for the blue team. Trouble PX34 are like, meh, we're good. We're doing our thing. While that's going on, first occupations are secured for all buildings for the red team, and that's why they are now 1,100 points in the lead. Every single build, every single altar you lock in your favor is 750 points. The blue team is a little bit behind on that. There it is, the lock-in by them as well. 300-point lead, give or take, for the team in red, and a point per minute lead is still solid. 30 points per minute. It's still there. Although, as this is happening, we have 4 minutes until the Ark of Osiris spawns, and this is where the teams start to posture a little bit more towards the middle. Until this point, the name of the game for both sides was, we need to secure the buildings game before going middle. Whichever team ends up with the most points per minute, with the most buildings before the middle fight, will get a little bit of an advantage, as while the middle fights are going on, the team that has the most points per minute is generating points for free. And so you want to have the points per minute advantage, which currently nobody has, as quickly as possible. The way this is being done is the blue team is actually attacking back on the backline of the red team. They're doing the same thing NV94 VN did back to them. And so right there, PX34 are like, well, you're coming for our outpost, well, you're gonna yoink him back. That doesn't matter. A minute away on points per minute. Both these teams now at 530. And so game is even. Nobody's gaining points. Nobody is ahead of anything. There are buildings being aggressed on. The red team has left the buildings game to go fight for the middle. There's a Moctezuma on the field. And so the blue team found an opportunity to catch the red team with a little bit of less defense on their desert altar, and they are sending a siege in. Not only on the desert altar, the sky altar is being aggressed on hardcore too. PX34 more available in the sky altar than the desert altar, as the desert altar team rotated towards the middle. And now there's a huge push against this Jadwiga garrison on the sky altar. Red team is being pushed hard right now. Blue team have 3 buildings being attacked at the same time. Looks like the red team, though, is able to secure the defense, even with the hard pushes from the blue team, and even with the red team posturing more toward the middle. But hey, it's not over yet. Sky Altar is looking extremely thin for the red team, and blue keeps pouring in here. This can be a take for the blue team, which can be extremely useful for them in this scenario, because they need to gain a points per minute lead somehow, which they currently have by 30 points, to start closing this 400-point gap between these two teams. And so looking at this scenario right here, in which we are trying to see whether PX34 can hold on to their building, there is more swarms coming in for the red team. They have a lot of very weak marches, and there are blue marches still here swarming and going hard at the building. This building might exchange hands, but the arc is about to pop in about 2 minutes, and the middle fight is what's going to be the main focus of this match. But we just want to see if this Sky Altar can hold. In the meantime, red team sending a solo rally that is doing extremely well against the Desert Altar for the blue team. Blue team caught without any defense in here whatsoever. There are people coming in here quick, and so this could have been a very nice catch by PX34. However, the reaction came in time for the team in blue, which are going to put whatever they need to put in the building just to keep holding on to it. I hope they do that at least. If they're going to wait for the infantry, this is going to be very bad. But there goes the reinforcements going in. More infantry marches coming in here as well. And so the Desert Altar rally being secured is extremely, extremely important. While that's going on, nothing interesting in the Shrine of Life. Shrine of Life very well secured by that Jadwiga at the bottom. Desert Altar of the blue team now being very well defended. A little bit of a breathing room. Blue team completely ignoring the middle until very late. Red team pushed out all the way. They're not even gonna let the blue team come into the middle territory. They're like, nope, we're gonna gatekeep you up on the top, and that's that. And this is the kind of further forward push on a middle fight that I think is more workable, and it has effect. Most people in most teams tend to try to park themselves ahead of the Temple of Osiris, but ahead of the Temple of Osiris by standing somewhere like where that guy is standing right there, that Cyrus. But the red team actually pushed all the way out to the entrance of the middle zone for the blue team. And now the blue team can't even try to get close to the temple. They can't go together as a unit and push in, because as they're trying to do right now, because they're just going to get grinded away. So you can see the blue team is trying to push forward, and as you can also see, blue frownies are mounting up, because while they tried to march, the red team is just fighting them and attacking them and causing damage to them. While that's going down, the arc is popped indeed. It has spawned. It is on the Temple of Osiris that you don't see. The blue team is so far away that the red team has already an arc pickup going and ready to rock and roll. Red team have the arc, and gone they are. The blue team can and do get here to try to stop the arc carrier from moving a little bit, but in the meantime, in all of this scenario, the blue team does pick up a desert altar away from the red team. So right now, the blue team is in a huge position where they can delay this arc pickup and in return gain 210 points every single minute. So the blue team right now, slowing down this arc is helping them gain a bigger lead. As long as the red team don't submit the arc, and as long as it takes to submit the arc, and of course the red team losing in the points per minute game, the blue team is going to be ahead and getting ahead and closing the gap and able to stay within this game. And so for them, grabbing this arc right now, stopping the arc carrier, slowing down the pace, not letting the red team submit the arc as quickly as possible, will essentially work in their favor long term. As you can see, they're already closing the gap to almost 100 points, and it is going to keep closing down more and more. In the meantime, their own buildings look to be blinking. We're going to take a quick peek at them. Red team swarm on the sky altar at the bottom can be very, very bad news. This sky altar needs some defense, and it needs it now. There's a rally passing by that has to cancel to help hold the sky altar. If the sky altar goes down, all of the blue team's lead is out the window, and there goes the sky altar. A mistake right there by Cavalry with Archers rally by the folks of 94 NV. Oy vey. This was definitely what they lose an obelisk in the process as well. And at the 42nd minute, which means they're going to be delayed also on teleports. And just like that, the red team flips the book. Blue team had the opportunity to gain some advantage and just hold. But while the red team was also aggressing on the middle, they were pushing on buildings. The blue team defense completely crumbled. Obelisk taken, sky altar taken, desert altar taken. The only altar the blue team has is their enemies, who are now going to get a very big influx of buffed marches from the middle coming in to help get the desert altar back. And while that's going on, the sky altar is still red and still not giving points to the blue team, who is still a little bit in the lead in the points per minute game, but they did manage to close the gap. Everything is okay for now. For the blue team, they have to get their own buildings back. They have to get to an even playing field, let the arc be submitted, and prepare for round 2. The blue team managed to close the gap, which is all that matters for them. They were a little bit in the back, and now they are doing very, very good. Now, Paranoia. I'm trying to think. Oh, mod, right? Discord mod. I completely forgot. Wow, Paranoia, my bad. Anyway, I haven't seen Paranoia in a while, actually. Anyhow, red team swarming the building that is not theirs. Tons of marches in here, and the building is still blue, curiously enough. It's holding well. Yadwiga doing her thing, and the blue team holding on to the little bit they do have. Once this flips, though, to the red team, this is going to be really big trouble. They're already ahead in the points per minute game, and now they're going to be ahead even further by quite a significant margin, and they're going to start gaining a lead and at the same time hold on to the Arc of Osiris, a 3,000 point arc for them. Very big garrison. PX34 are not joking around. They have their YSS. They have the defense. They have the open field marches. They're ready to rock and roll. There's an archer rally coming this way, but no open field defense to work with it. And so, I mean, Paranoia is just going to swarm the life out of this rally just to cause it a little bit more damage, just to cause it a little bit more pain. Let the rally hit the building, and now they're going to just scramble into smashing this rally before the blue open field marches come in here to reinforce. On the other side, another YSS holding onto a building. There is a swarm happening around this building. Blue marches, red marches all over the place. Huge red presence. They know that if they hold on to the altars and they submit the arc like they just have, they are just going to cause insane amounts of pressure. Now that the arc is submitted, everything resets. The one thing that most teams do wrong in Arc of Osiris is they hold on to the arc because they think it is going to be a way for us to bank points for the future. If you are like the red team, you are in the lead, you have the buildings, you have the strategy, you have the pressure, delivering the arc is actually going to keep the pressure on, because now the timer for the middle is on again. The blue team has very little time to try to stabilize the situation before they have to head to middle again. And for the red team, this is becoming a compounding interest of pressure and pain. If you're enjoying the stream, don't forget to smash a like on it, and of course subscribe down below. We will be casting the next match coming up soon in a few hours. I know that there's other creators out there streaming, and I appreciate y'all for choosing this stream as the one you're watching. While we're doing all that, PX34 are compounding the pressure on the team in the 94 VN. At this stage, they own most of the buildings. Finally, 94 VN, the blue team secure their own Sky Altar back, which is a good start. But there is 6 minutes and 44 seconds until the Arc of Osiris pops. And red team still own the points per minute game quite significantly by a good 710 points to 290 points, 420 points every single minute in the favor of the red team. And the blue team now trying to find a way to just stabilize the pain for the next fight, which will be in the middle. Now, here is the thing. Red team has secured their own outposts back. All those little plays by the blue team are over. Now the blue team need to get their own buildings and get some pressure somewhere. They are trying to get to their own desert altar, but PX34 just know that all they need to do is let these marches survive as long as possible. Once all these red marches die, all of them are going to shift towards middle. So as long as they stay here for the next 3 minutes, they can keep delaying all of the blue marches in here. And when all of these frownies get home, what they'll do is they'll rotate out into the middle. And so all of these blue marches, now yellow marches, like a bunch of these ones right here, are gonna then go for the building. While all this is going on, the red team is going to bring out fresh new marches into middle, and all of this pressure is coming from all over the place. This is not the blue team playing bad, Stoic. This is the red team keeping pressure on them and maintaining timing consistently. Now, for the blue team, the one thing that they need to do next is they need to keep putting more pressure on. They have all of these marches out. They need to start scrambling towards the Shrine of War, towards the Sky Altar. They need to make sure that when the middle fight starts, they own all the buildings and they are coming from the back. If they can do that, then they can start creating a little bit of momentum. But what you'll see here now is they have taken their own building. Now they're all going to go home to refresh their marches, and they are going to go now to the middle. But in that process, the red team has already marches like this guy who were in the fight just now already preparing to come to middle. All of these guys have already frownied home and they're already going towards middle. And so their pressure is dead on. They are timing it to perfection. And now the blue team needs to change that. All of these marches can't go to middle now. They need to do something. They need to stop. Look. All of this time of these marches refreshing is time that the red team have gained by making sure that they stay here in the enemy side as long as possible, and then they get killed home. Now, what they should have done, in my opinion, as they lose their obelisk again, is they should have just kept pushing with the half-dead troops, fought the buildings, tried to destabilize the middle push for the red team until their marches died, and then sent full marches, because it would take pretty much the same amount of time as marching home and then marching back, because once you're frowny down, you march twice as fast home. So blue team losing another obelisk and regaining it means yet again they're going to miss out on some teleports. Blue team currently have 7 people left in the starting zone, while the red team, oh my goodness, 2, 4, 6, 8 people left in the red zone. Curiously enough, looks like someone double teleported or something like that, because the red team should have had more teleports up than this. So something went wrong in the red team's teleport sequence, which can happen. In the meantime, what went wrong for the blue team is they lost their Sky Altar yet again. And so they're yet again at the back foot of the points per minute game by 170 points. They need to put pressure on the red team somehow. One march did make it down all the way through and through. Look at what the red team is doing now. They know that all of these marches left the desert altar, and so because they had the time ahead of time, we saw these marches. Remember, we saw them when they were coming out. These guys were going home. By the time these guys get here, these folks are already back, and so it is a continuous, different timing mechanism. And now the blue team is starting to look at where their ball is. They're way out here. They need to get much closer. They need to make sure they're standing right here. They're not letting the red team cap them beyond this point. If they stay way back there, the red team is going to keep pushing their own ball and making sure the blue team is nowhere near to grab the arc. While that's happening, look at the distraction by these guys coming on from the same side that got killed earlier. So as I mentioned to you all, in the insights you get on this stream, this was a very, very well-timed, coordinated attack by PX34. They're now just trying to cause disruption and chaos back here. For the blue team, though, a skill is procced, and they're going to push. They know they have more numbers at this point than PX34, and they're coming in hard. Paranoia back with the skill. They're going to push earlier than previously. Blue team also knowing that they have the points per minute lead now because they have taken the desert altar away from their enemy. They have taken away... they've lost their own outpost, but the desert altar is a great take, and this is what they needed to do right now. PX34 caught with their pants down. They are here, but they didn't think necessarily that 94 would be the first ones to get the push. They thought 94 would be somewhere else. And at the same time that the buildings were taken away from 34, 94 hit the hammer and attacked in the middle. That is a great reaction. That is what they needed to do. They needed a little bit of a distraction. They needed to get a little bit more damage done. Now we're seeing frownies all over the place. We are seeing both red and blue frownies, not only blue frownies, so this can be trouble for the team in red. Blue team coming in the masses. I am going to simplify graphics in this particular scenario just so we can see it a little bit clearer, but lots of blue marches in here, lots of fighting and damage done down here, but the blue team is pushing the red team out of here. I'm seeing a lot of blue frownies, but also red frownies coming out, and more blue and marches in here. 36 seconds remaining until the arc pops, and blue team is doing everything they can to clear this area out. The folks that were backstabbing are still backstabbing, and they're still here. They're still causing pain, but more blue marches are headed from the top. The bottom has no marches coming in anymore, curiously enough, and the red team is getting pushed back a little bit, but they are still here, and they are starting to come in with big numbers too. 13 seconds until the arc pops, and they look very, very good. This match looks very close in this middle fight as the blue team pushed the red team back a little bit as they had numbers. But when the numbers started dwindling for the blue team and the red team started gaining their own numbers, now it's looking like an even match. The arc has popped. Everybody's fighting on the red side of the match. In the meantime, there are arc carriers already trying to grab the arc. It is going to drop in the red side, and red team pick it up first. See, I can't believe this guy picks up the arc, and he's still marching with it. He still got it. He's walking away. A good progress for an arc carrier. Arc dropped. Blue team now needs to keep the pressure on the red team, who need to be carrying this arc out of here. Every arc carrier needs to be taken down. Blue team needs to get more people in here. They lose their own points per minute advantage. They also lose their own building in the process. Red team pick up the arc yet again, and they are gone. It looked for a moment that the blue team had a little momentum swinging in their favor, but they were just not able to stop the bleeding. The red team slowly and steadily got to the point where more and more blue frownies were going home, and more red marches just poured in. And just like that, red team pick up the arc, red team marched the arc, and it looked for a second like the blue team had a very good position, but red team got a little bit out-timed, but came back into this big time. Look at all the blue frownies. My goodness. How does PX34? They get pushed back, and PX34 are like, okay, well, time to push again, and bam, just like that, middle taken. Desert altar stolen. Desert altar secured back. And just like that, within a few moments, the red team goes from losing the points per minute game and potentially losing the middle to winning the middle big time, evening the points per minute game, owning the buildings at this point until they get occupied, and then they start gaining points per minute and taking the arc back home with 4,000 point lead. Whew, 94 did not see this coming. I definitely don't think 94 saw this coming. So many Takeda primary. Yeah. Lots of Takeda primaries out here. There are lots of Takeda primaries out here. I'm seeing a lot of what's their faces too. Of Chandras, which I guess. Takeda primary marching the arc. And it's gone. Just like that. Blue March is still trying to... There's a couple Blue Marches still trying to stop it. Like, this Atel Takeda is like, no, you don't go. Stay. I do damage. I'm going to tell Takeda, I can destroy you. But it doesn't work. It will not work this time. Red team, take the arc. They own the middle. They own the buildings game. And now... they also own the points per minute game with a 740 to 440 point lead. 300 points per minute in the favor of the red team. That is going to go down momentarily as the Desert Altar might go down and blue team might be able to resecure their own building. This is again where that cycle begins. Does 94 want to win this match? 30 minutes remaining. Lots of time still remain to win this match. For 94 to win this cloud of people right now needs to make it down to the desert, to the Shrine of War right now. They don't refresh. They don't stop. They need to start pushing. They need to start putting some pressure on their enemy. The problem is 34 are coming in from the middle with a few marches to keep the folks in blue in check back here. And so instead of pushing forward, these guys are now having to deal with the leftovers of the middle. Now, for the blue team, if they have a good garrison, all this swarm is going to do nothing. So they need to get that quick garrison in and start pushing their way down. Instead, they're now just defending their own building, not letting this building go down. And the red team is sending a few marches just to keep them distracted while they reset and re-prepare after a middle fight. Arc is delivered, and so now everybody's sending their marches home chilling. Blue team defending their Sky Altar is good news. Shrine of War is being kind of like tapped with, but the most stuff that's going on in here is mainly the Desert Altar is getting a slight push. You can see the Desert Altar crew is defending and staying nearby here for PX34, but they're not staying back too far. They're pushing forward. They're making sure that the fights are not happening on top of their own building because of this exact scenario. If the fighting is happening on top of their own building, then you just go and hit the building. And majority of time, folks are not paying attention to the garrison, which is what just happened. Building is taken, and now all of a sudden the red team is all in the building. And so what the red team is doing is they're just keeping the blue team in check. When there's enough marches near a building, all they do is they swarm the building. If the building goes down, and they're still hitting the building, they stopped now, but they were just hitting the building again. The whole point is if we manage to somehow, in this whole chaos around this building, get the building, everybody get in, we hold it for a little bit, and then we get Frownied home. Blue team needs to use their pressure right now and push down. Look at how many marches are now standing here. Where are you guys going? Start pushing down. Start making moves. There is a lot of open field presence for 94, but they're too scared of leaving their own building because they don't know what's coming next. They want to make sure it's all blue. And now that it's all blue, while all that was happening, look at this. These guys are already back. They are already back. IC Plus, we see him yet again. He was just fighting here. And so now, blue team, the most they can do is what this guy's doing right here, which is to come down this way and try to gain some open field presence. But there is already a good defense down here. And so again, red team are now going to try to dictate the pace in some shape or form. The Desert Altar, on the other hand, had a rally march its way, but the rally is alone. The open field's non-existent. It's practically not there. The rally is hitting the building, though, and the building is taking some damage. It's taking good damage. It is even yellow, but there are marches coming in here to help the blue team siege this building down, and the red team is not really paying attention to the garrison too much. We are seeing more defense coming in. It is a pure infantry defense, which takes time to march. But the blue team slowly is building up pressure on the building, and the building is looking like it's not doing too healthy. The rally isn't healthy either. It's in red and it's about to go down. But if a little bit more pressure is put by the open field in here, it can cause a scenario where this building could go down in favor of the blue team. Replacement garrison coming on deck. Blue, and there it goes, another yellow march into the building. Building now in yellow. Rally about to die. Well, rally died out, and so this siege was stopped. In the meantime, the same old story. The fight is happening right next to the Desert Altar, and every time they can, the red team just attack it. And if they manage to catch it, everybody goes in the building. You can see C Plus and 12 Mundo, which I believe they're both arc carriers. I would assume these marches are just their fourth and second, third, and fourth, and fifth in here just causing a ruckus, while their mains are the arc carriers, because CPOS was the person who picked up the arc last time. And so you can see red marches coming in to taunt the building, and they want to swarm the building. They want to cause a scenario where maybe we pick up the building for free. If not, well, we just back off and come back in here again. These guys, in the meantime, just slowing down the middle inserts for the blue team. 8,000 points lead for the red team, and these guys are dead even in the points per minute game. Both teams have the same buildings, the same points per minute, all occupation, everything is good, except for the one fact. The red team is 8,000 points ahead of the blue team in a very, very nasty scenario. And I mean, it is what it is. Blue team is about 24 minutes remaining in the match. Might be able to potentially come back. Maybe. This third arc is 4,000 points. Then technically if the blue team get it, then it's a 4,000 point lead. It becomes a little bit easier. For the blue team, though, they need to gain points per minute, and they need to gain a huge lead in the points per minute game, and they need to maintain it. That's their number one goal. They need a points per minute lead, and they need to maintain it for a long period of time. The problem is 3 marches like this keep hitting the Desert Altar again and again and again and again, and occasionally even catch the Desert Altar off guard. And this is keeping the blue team from doing anything, because marches going to the middle are now going back, or marches half dead are now going back to defend the building. And it's an endless process of rally and a couple of extra marches coming in here and again, hitting the building again and again and again. And so with tons of things happening all over the place, this scenario is the best case scenario for the red team. They own the open field. They own the buildings game. They can take any building they want whenever they want. They have been very successful at holding on to the middle and maintaining it. This time around, everybody is in here 2 minutes ahead of the arc. Blue team is up top. Red team with a good presence in here. A bit more than they had earlier. It looks like both teams have a decent amount of marches in here. Blue team are trying to make their way in here more and more, while the red team have some annoying marches, more marches, a ton of marches. Everybody is on their way to middle. Bottom side coming in as well, hot right now. Everybody's on their way to middle. The blue team know they have to get it, and red team are aware of this scenario, and they are bringing in the cavalry as well. And by the cavalry, I don't mean the cavalry marches. I mean all of the marches. Every single one of them are on their way. Well, not every single one of them. A big part of them are on their way in here. I could say that every single blue march is coming in here, but red team, they can afford to lose this arc. They can allow themselves to lose this arc if they manage to take the points per minute lead away from the blue team permanently. And the way they're going to do that is by keeping the pressure on the buildings game until they see a window. Now, this building is fairly weak, and so I wouldn't be surprised if there are a few marches already making their way for a capture of the blue building. You can see it right there. In a moment, we are going to be seeing the blue building Desert Altar go down, because they're not going to pay attention to the fact that it's very weak. And the middle team, everybody's going to the middle for the arc. While that's happening, red team is like, cool, we pick up building here. We are going to pick up the Desert Altar very quietly. We're going to pick up every single building we can pick up in the process, and just keep you occupied in the middle long enough. We just need to keep you occupied in the middle long enough. And so here we go. 94 VN are moving to this corner and balling up. They're balling up big time. The red team, PX34, are surrounding the Temple of Osiris. 34 seconds until the Temple of Osiris spawns the arc. One march. There's one march. Marching forward a little bit. Looking to get that little tapperoni. Nobody taps it. Nobody taps it. Everybody stays. Well, someone tries. It's a little bit of a taunt. Trying to get, and here we go. There's the push. There's the main push. Here we go. Nope. Oh, yep. Here it comes. Blue team attacks. Red team on the hold. Here we go. Where are the skills being dropped? War drums 94 and VN and Paranoia with the war drums as well. Here we go. To the death. 94 VN in blue. To the death. 34 PX34 mystical formation for both, and oh my goodness, all the skills are popped. Here we go. Arc of Osiris is on the temple, and the red team already pick it up. The blue team deciding to siege the arc later, and as a result, the red team pick up the arc from the bottom side away from the blue team, and now they're marching it out of here. The blue team are gonna target this arc carrier, and they're gonna knock him out, and they know now that they just need to let the red team pick up the arc and take out the arc carrier. It's okay, not a big deal. But while all that's going on, lots of blue frownies going home. Red frownies too, But definitely more blue frownies going home in this fight. And nonetheless, red team is yet again, they're trying to do what they want to do. In the meantime, as you can see, the buildings were taken by the red team, just like I predicted. Bottom building as well. And so the points per minute lead is massive for the team in blue and red, who are going to gain even more points per minute once the buildings are taken. So just like expected, maybe the blue team, maybe they might be able to win this middle, although they are getting a lot more frownies. They have picked up the arc though and dropped it, but they are getting a lot more frownies in here. Even if the blue team win this middle somehow by some scenario, a 9,000 point lead for the red team means that this 4,000 point arc will keep it a 5,000 point lead. And while all that is going on, the points per minute game is going to give the red team more and more points. Now think about it this way. An arc worth 4,000 points. There's more points per minute lead now. There's about 560 points per minute every single minute for the team in red. So even if the blue team take now the arc home from here on out, it'll take them about 5-6 minutes. In the meantime, 3,000 extra points made for the team in red. And so really this arc does nothing. It'll barely close a 1,000 point gap, even if the red team do lose this arc. And so by taking the buildings at the same time that the arc is going on, they pretty much secured the fact that even if they lose this arc, which they aren't losing it so far, they're going to gain so many points in the meantime of the blue team trying to get this arc that it will not have any effect on the final score. It will not decrease this 9,000 plus lead for the red team, which is growing by 710 points every single minute. Whereas Pakal, there is no Pakal. Apparently no new commanders by the looks of it. But I am seeing some Chandragupta Moctezumas all over the place, which is a very interesting combo. There are a couple of Takeda primaries in here. Takeda's, I'm seeing a lot of Takeda, curiously enough, Osiris. We're seeing a lot of arc carrying potential. People bringing marches to carry arcs with this, Lord knows what they're looking to do. Instead of having a few arc carriers, a bunch of arc carrying marches. Which is interestingly enough, red team is not losing this arc. They are destroying the blue team in this middle. While that's happening, they also own buildings. Luckily enough for them, for the blue team, they at least stabilized on the one building. So the damage was subsided slightly back down to 560 points instead of 710. But I mean, the lead is growing, and it's almost at 10,000. While I'm speaking, another 1,000 point lead for the team in red, which is just gaining in here. And they're going to gain this 4,000 point arc, which means this, this has been over, but we can definitely say that 94 was not ready for what came from PX34. And PX34 are probably more than likely they are indeed going to be the ones that are going to go into the best of 3 Osiris League Grand Final playoffs. They are just taking their time now carrying this arc. They know that they're at that 10,000 points ahead with a 4,000 point arc. They're pretty much in cruise control. 17 minutes remaining. I'm doing good, Marius. How about you? 17 minutes remaining in the match. Not enough time to do much for the blue team, who don't even have their own desert altar. This is how bad things got. They don't even own their own desert altar, which is a huge problem. PX34, in the meantime, just marching their arc, chilling, doing their thing. They're trying to catch a sleeping obelisk also. Is that a rally, or is that just a solo march being a pain in the butt? That is not only a solo march being a pain in the butt, they have occupied the obelisk long enough so that a sneaky PX34 toast has teleported up here. And 94 VN are like, okay, well, you can be there. That is fine. While all that is going on, 94 VN hard push. They want to get buildings. They still want to get their points back somehow. They want to try to get back into this with 11,000 point deficit. It's going to be extremely tough for the team in blue. Even with hard push, which will let them get their buildings back quicker, there's just not enough time for any of that. I like this pest annoying play by Toast, who is 123 million power. So zeroing him and making him fly home is going to be a painfully annoying task to do for 94 VN. At this stage, I mean, listen, there's nothing you can do about it. There's nothing you can do about it. 94 VN won because of their gear. Now it's even more clear, I guess. I don't know. I have no idea. Clean game for PX34. Thanks for the coverage. See you in the next game. Danny boy, appreciate it, my man. Yeah, it was very clean play by PX34. PX34 are very good. They're very, very good. They know their timings very well. They have caught 94 VN off guard and just completely with their pants down, and ever since they're just not able to. 94 VN just doesn't have enough experience to know how to react to all this. Chat, if you're enjoying the stream, don't forget to drop a like before you leave if you're leaving. And of course, subscribe down below because we will be casting the next match coming in a few hours. And honestly, if you guys are enjoying the content, I appreciate that like, that subscribe, all that good stuff. Anyway, if it's 94 VN wins, 94 VN is not winning. It is not winning, unfortunately. 94 VN will not be winning this match. It's simply because they don't have time. There's 14 minutes remaining in the match. There's 11,000 point deficit for the team in blue, and they are behind by a good 420 points every single minute. Perry, don't say that. Perry, don't say that. I don't say that. I like Drago. Thank you for the kind words, but there's no need to bring someone else down in the process. PX34 picking up another building. They're just cleaning out house at this point. They have the arc. They have secured it. They have everything they need. 8 minutes, 14 minutes remaining in the match means another arc can pop for the red team to pick up again. Maybe. Fighting without VIP 18 is a big handicap. Is it though? Is it though? And also, what makes you say PX34 have VIP 18 all over the place? I'm not judging. I'm just curious. 94 VN have no chance. Oh no, this match is everything but winnable for 94 VN. They're trying to get their building back, at least the Sky Altar, and they're probably going to be able to do it. The problem for 94 VN is not that they're bad. They're not bad, but they got caught reacting consistently to PX34 and not able to stop PX94's momentum. And the problem with that is that it's sometimes to stop another team's momentum, you got to let them win, per se. A lot of times, what you'd notice is that the fight was happening on this side of the map, right? There was a huge fight happening in here. There still is, as you can see. For 94 PX34, as long as they had presence in here, they were chilling. Because 94 VN would come in here consistently. What I would do personally is, at this scenario, you start going this way and you send your massive fights to happen here. And so if they take our desert altar, we take their sky altar, and we make sure that we have just enough of a big presence in here as they have on our side. The same thing goes for this side. If they keep coming on our sky altar, we go at their desert altar. And so the problem that happens for 94 VN is that they kept reacting to PX34's attacks instead of creating their own scenarios. At this point, all of these guys trying to defend this is really, really pointless because they're not able to get anything done, and they end up losing the desert altar in the process. However, if all these marches were up here, now all of these guys and all of these guys wouldn't necessarily be able to be down here. And the placements of these guys, look at how many marches are now coming back this way. Very few are even considering going this way, and the only reason they're coming here is because there is a potential of a fight going this way. Very little going on in here. A rally goes out here occasionally for the red team, and that's it. Everything is focused down here, and they're keeping 94 VN eyes just all over the place. '94 VN is just inexperienced. It's inexperienced. They might have had an easy group stage because apparently they had better gear than everybody else, so it was an easy win for them, maybe. But they're definitely inexperienced to the point where, like, there are some very experienced, very capable, like, known arc players on the field for PX34. This is not like a mumbo jumbo team. There are people in here that have played every single season of Arc of Osiris in PX34. Okay, so it's unfair to put someone like 994, like 94 VN on the on blast because they're fighting against a team that is a fairly well established decent, strong team. Like they play very good fundamental Ark of Osiris. And so I don't necessarily think that it's fair to judge the guys in blue. They're a young team, and that's what we expected. We expected this to be a thing. I'm curious about the next match, though, because it's, again, a young team against an old team, which is going to cause very, very interesting scenarios. However, for 960, they have some folks that are older. They have some folks that came in after. I don't know if in Osiris League Grand Finals you can switch out your Osiris team, but if you can, I mean, Governor can be in there, Ende can be in there. They're all in 960 now, so that's going to be a really interesting thing to see. Do you think Ende will be in 960 GT team? Maybe. They're fighting against the two-time Osiris League winners HKL. Some of these guys are HKL, not everybody. Some of these guys are HKL. PX34 has a lot of HKL in it. Mayo. Pooh. I remember Penny. Is that Jan? I wonder if that's actually Jan. Jan from, if that's Jan from 59, then this makes a lot more sense, for the record. Interesting. There's a 50, and PX34 have a lot of interesting folks. He is HK. Interesting. PX34 is a mix of a bunch of different folks from different kingdoms that have Osiris League experience, which is very clear, right? I saw Jan in here. It's impossible then. Some of these names are becoming a bit more. I knew that I recognized some names. I wonder if that's Jan, if that's the Jan that I know. I'll ask later. Interesting. Jan was part of Frick. I don't remember if she was. No, she wasn't part of our side of JWM2. No, she wasn't. She wasn't. Never mind. Anyway, looks like, well, this match is pretty much over, right? We're looking at a red map, red team, 18,000 point lead, 600 point per minute lead every single minute going on. A minute and a half until the arc spawns, the last arc in this match. It looks like they're fighting for it just for the heck of it, but we can chill, watch this little fight going on, this big fight. It's going to be just a massive brawl. Maybe the blue team will get a consolation arc out of it, maybe 4,500 points. That would be nice, but it's going to require pick up and go because there's 6 minutes left in the match, and you're going to have to dip with this arc and dip with it quick. You got to dip with it quick if you want to get to the point where, you know what I'm saying, you grab the arc. 6 minutes is a long time, and the march is fairly long too, so you just got kicked out of the game. Now, that's rough. I think migration should be limited for Ark of Osiris League like in KVK. I don't know. That's a good question. But then you're limiting migration forever for some kingdoms. Some kingdoms will never have migration happen. Well, the brawl is going on. 30 seconds until the arc pops. The map is red. The whole map is red. Rest in peace, blue team. Chat, if you enjoyed the stream, don't forget to slap a like on it. I appreciate it if you did. We're going to be back for the next match. Make sure your alliance mates, make sure your friends, your discords, pop the disc. Listen, I'm going to need you all to let all your friends and folks know to come through for the next cast, because we're going to cast JST against 90, 60 GT. Man, it's going to be a huge match, and we're going to be at the peak of it. We have some inside information. We've played with Governor, the king of 960, with Ende, who is out there now, and a few other things. We know a few of the strategies of the things going on. JST also doing very, very interestingly well in their own, in our realm, in Realm of Horus 365. We are in the same KVK with them, and so it's going to be fun to see our KVK mates on the field doing their thing, trying to make it to the grand finals, although they're going to have some KVK fighting to do. So getting to the grand finals, and on top of that, being on a strife of the 8 is going to be very rough for 365. PX34 picking up the arc, of course, and just grinding it down. Fung at this point, dropping the arc, he doesn't really care. For the red team, it's just a delay tactic. At some point, there's just not going to be enough time for the blue team to grab the arc. And then it's just like, next show, it is in 5 hours. 5 hours from now is going to be the next arc. And it's going to be a big fight. We're going to be live on stream in 5 hours. And we will be casting the awesome match. It's going to be a really, 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 really good match, in my opinion. I think it's going to be a very interesting one to see. 960 is very capable. JST is very, very capable. They're having some help coming in, not as migration, but as strategists and people that are... I know that 365 have their own crew of folks that are insanely good at Arc, but I know that there's also other folks that are at least trying to lend a hand here and there wherever they can, and so that's a common thing we see. A Charlemagne on the map, that's not something common we see, but it's a common thing we see when bigger teams or folks who are part of bigger teams kind of just like help each other out in some senses once the grand finals show up. But it's not like bad help, like, hey, these are the things that you did wrong against us, these are the things that you can do better against us, and stuff like that. And it's really cool to see. Anyway, arc on the ground, blue team trying to do everything they can to grab it, but the red team keep picking it up. All the occupations are in the favor of the red team except for the obelisks, which remain blue. 21,000 point lead on the 1,080 points per minute lead for the 70 points per minute lead for the points for the blue team. I mean, the red team is looking to gain another 3,000 points. They're looking to put a statement on the map. They want to grab the arc, which is kind of crazy. They have 3 minutes remaining to get this arc, and they still can make it home. If they make it home, they're gonna kill. I mean, they're already killing the blue team twice as many points as they have. 22,000 point lead for the team in red. Unbelievable. HAL won only one time. That is true. That is true. Madruja, you're not wrong there. Not 2 times champions. But anyway. That is true. Red team all over this arc. They want to get it home. It is dipping out of here. The blue team can't do anything about it. And the points per minute lead is massive for the red team. And they keep growing it. They're not letting it come down. They want to get as big of a gap as they can. They want to... this is humiliation attempt. But it's not really, because listen. 94 VN made it here, okay? Thousands of alliances have tried, and 94 VN made it here. They are going to get a legendary skin, which most of us are not going to get. And so you can say anything you want about them and about their performance and about how they got wrecked. Sure, but guess what? They're going to get a beautiful legendary skin to commemorate their victory of Osiris League Season 4. Yeah, OV won 2 times, JST 1 time, correct, and HKL 1 time. That is correct. With this being said, 94 VN are knocked out of the grand finals. They are out of here, but they're going to gain some awesome rewards. I'm actually fairly jealous of their skin. We'll show it to you guys at the end of the match, like I mentioned to you. And the folks in PX34 get to see another day in the grand finals. With that being said, rip your coins. Oh boy, Joker. Oh boy. Bidding against PX34 is not a good idea at all. Not a good idea. At all. Bam! Goes the arc. More points for the red team. 52,000 points. They're trying to get a 30,000 point lead before the end of the match. They're trying to get that 30,000 point lead before the end of the match, and they are going to get it. They have gotten it. 30,000 point lead win. More points and a lead than the other team has. And yet, these guys are going into the next phase. A best of 3 against either JST or 60 GT, which is going to be a really, 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 really fun thing to see. Buildings are being taken back by the blue team. The blue team is like, nah, we ain't going. We're not going to, I mean, okay, let's, just for the picture at the end, okay? Let us just take our buildings at the end just for the picture. So we can be like, yeah. It's like we had our buildings. It's okay. Just a tip. Okay, just a tip. Let us just have a little bit. And so they're grabbing their own buildings back. 25 seconds remaining. Can this Shrine of Life get taken back in 20 seconds? That's the real question. 19 seconds. There is a swarm. Okay, this building's going to go down. There's no way this holds. Can Jadwiga hold? Can Jadwiga hold? 10 seconds. Oh boy, she might hold. That could be funny if Jadwiga holds, but I doubt that's a thing. Oh boy. No. 2 seconds. Jadwiga. And she had... Oh, she didn't. All right. Victory. On our screen, PX34 Toast is the individual scorer. He teleported to the blue side, and I guess he got swarmed like crazy. 323,000 points. Red team, solid arc pickups. Buildings game, out of the park. Provisions game, out of the park. No heals whatsoever. Tons of kills. Nothing else can be said. GG to 94 VN. Great Osiris League journey. Enjoy your beautiful skin. And yes, chat, you guys can hate on them all you want. But they are taking a beautiful permanent skin, the City of Power, Cavalry Health, 10%. Cavalry Health, 10%. This is a massive skin. Massive skin. Just a massive skin. Just a massive skin to take home. It's just as good as mine in that sense. And of course, they keep getting the sculptures, they keep getting the rewards. There's participants placing realms. Championship reward, participating in the championship realm will receive these. Runner-up realms. Third place realm. Oh wait, time out. Participant of the championship realm. So wait, this is for the champions only. Well, that sucks. This is only for the champions? Really? Championship rewards. The participants, the only one. Oh, well, you're not getting that. That sucks. Third place getting... Wait. There's no way fourth place gets nothing? I'm so confused. Did they change this? Did they change this? At the end of the grand finals, commemorative prizes will be distributed among the competitors. Competition results. They changed it. Well, that sucks. Well, that blows. This is only for the winner. One alliance is going to get this. Huh. And there's going to be a third and fourth place, I guess. They're going to get this. Because it's realm. Yeah, but it's the one alliance. It's not the whole realm is going to get it. If the whole realm gets it, that's insane, right? All the 4 grand finals from all the 4 different realms got it right. Right, I'm so confused. All the 4 grand finals from the different realms got it. All for nothing. All for nothing. All members winning alliances and losing alliances. That's cool. A little bit of extra good stuff. And of course, ooh. I mean, you still got 10. I forget. This is so good. There's 60 sculptures from the event. You can get 60 sculptures from the event. That's kind of nuts. Can you imagine? That's still a sick skin. I want that skin. Anyway, chat, I'm going to head out of here. I appreciate you listening. Drop the like on the stream. Subscribe down below. I'll be back in 4 hours and 50 minutes for a little bit more action. RIP tokens. I agree. It is what it is. Well, I already reserved. Wait, what? I'm so confused. Anyway, chat, I'll see you all in the next stream sooner rather than later. Well, in 4 hours and 50 minutes, I'll go eat some lunch, work, and I'll see you all in the next stream. It's going to be a sick one. JST against 60 GT. Looking forward for that. Take care. Have a great rest of your day. And thank you for choosing to watch us tonight. Stream is going to be available as a VOD momentarily very, very soon. Peace. See ya. Bye.